All right, guys, what's going on? What's cracking? It's cold, as usual. Back to the Supra. Let's go. Couple things to go over here. First off today, this isn't going to be an install of any of this stuff, but at least go over it for now. First up is these beautiful gauges. Okay, guys, these are dope. Like, super dope. These are TRD replica gauges. They're slightly different from factory, but they are awesome. The company is called... I can't even pronounce this right. Haya Auto Parts. The gentleman's actually out of the Netherlands. Nice dude. His name is Mike Seeger. Extremely nice. There's a video on how to install this already, but I'm going to make something a little bit more detailed, and I'm going to kind of go over some of the nuances you want to make sure that you don't mess up on, including this glue part, how to get the needle set up. It's going to be a little time consuming. Doing the needles is going to be very time consuming. I'm going to have to get an X-Acto knife for that to cut it down just perfect and get it to stick on. Talking to Mike Kinney over at LED Guys, he said it is a very nice setup to just take your time. In the video explained how to get the needle set up too after you put these on, because when you do the needle on these, everything's slightly off. So there's a couple things you need to do when you take the faces off and go over all of it. You need to make sure you have your gas gauge correct and put the needle back in where it was. Same thing with the cold temperature. Again, it's just little things like that you're going to leave off till the car is up to temp and that kind of thing. So I'm going to shut up now, and what's going to happen is I'm going to move on to the next thing, but I just kind of wanted to show you just a little bit how up close, how nice these things are. Sorry, there's a hair on that one. And again, minus my cold breath at the bottom. These things are literally flawless. They look exactly like TRD replica gauges. The only thing you will notice on this, technically a real TRD gauge will start 0 down here, and then 10,000 will stop here. To keep the factory needle and not to replace the whole thing, it starts at 0 and then comes down to 10. Just be wary and understanding of that. Same thing over here. It starts at 0, comes down to 200. So instead of 180, it does 200. I do, again, like this. And he did add this on the back. What this does is help distribute the light. So the issue is if you ever put LED lights in any of these gauges, they have like dead spots. By spraying this white paint, whatever this is, actually fixes that. Pretty neat. I'm not sure what it is, but apparently it fixes the issue. I talked to Mike Kinney and he said it really fixes it. It's quite impressive. So I'm really excited to get these in and see what these look like. But I'll have this listed down below, and you guys can get these today at LED Guys, or you can get it direct from Mike himself. The other thing we have is a new fuel pressure regulator. But you're like, Ryan, you already had this, because this is the Radium direct mount fuel pressure regulator. I've been running this on my Supra for almost 3 years. Now my wife has this exact one on hers, and I got a new one, and you're probably asking why. Well, I don't have the original one here, but the reason I got to get rid of it was my new intake manifold, which you guys saw. The new intake manifold, well, let me just show you this. The new intake manifold came with a new fuel rail. On the old setup, I ran a fitting that ran out the center drain. Well, this fuel rail does not have a center drain, which is fine because realistically, you don't need it. I was blocking it off, but had to use it as my fuel pressure regulator, as the original Radium Engineering fuel pressure regulator doesn't have a port for anything. So it kind of sucked. This just has an in and out on the fuel rail, but I like that this doesn't have it. It's one less leak point. I do personally like that. But on the old Radiums, they didn't have these 1/8-inch MPT on it for any type of pressure sensors or temperature sensors, and I don't like that. This does now, so that makes me super freaking happy that if they finally added that after all these years. Now you can do it direct. My wife's car already has it, so let's just go over to hers. Just make it easy so you can see what it looks like on the car, and it kind of explain a little bit better. Again, on her car, be able to see it here. You're probably going to be able to see there's a block off right there. Can you see it there, guys? That little block off, that's a center drain, and that's where I had a fuel pressure sensor before. Now on this, you can run it directly off the side. One thing I'm going to do different though, and I stole this from Tony Ingagliato or Stan Stagger Media, is he put a 90-degree fitting on it. So I just convinced him to go to these fuel pressure regulators, kind of do a little system on the bottom that makes it all bolt up real nice and put your flex fuel sensor and all that stuff. But the one thing he showed me is, you know, that sticking off like that's not exactly pretty. It doesn't look very good, and it just kind of looks random shooting off. What he showed me is this. I had been using this before for this to work with the fuel rail. Well, what he did was take the same fitting. I have a bunch of these. What he did is take the same fitting and put it on this side port. Well, like this. He took this fitting right here, and what he did was on the side, so this would go to the front, on the side here, he put this 90-degree fitting. You guys can see this here. See this little 90-degree fitting? Sorry, hopefully it shows up a little better. Use this and put it on the side of it like so. Mount that down, turn that down a little bit. So went on the side of it, and he would just spin it in. I'm just gonna do it real loose, just like so. And then had his, do this here, like that. So it sits off the side of it. This goes directly into the fuel rail, and this shoots down. So it looks a little better. My sensor actually, you can see the sticker on it, this is an AEM sticker, actually turned orange, and that's not from heat. When I had this on the fuel rail years ago, the fitting was leaking for just a little bit, and it was getting into the sticker and actually turning it, I guess the E85 was turning it yellow from the fuel. So that's why it's yellow like that. It's not from heat. I'm obviously reusing it because, well, it's a stainless steel sensor and it shouldn't have gone bad by now. But yeah, just want to show you guys that very simple setup. Again, I got that from Tony and Gagliato. And again, on the bottom, instead of using this fitting here, which you can see, you spin it in real quick. This is a swivel fitting, okay? So it goes around, it can swivel all over. Super neat. I do like that they include this. Super neat little piece. But what I'm gonna do is replace it with this. So instead of coming off the side like that, it'll come straight out the bottom right into a -6 fitting. Very simple. Again, just no need for this, and it'll kind of be in the way of the sensor. Personal opinion, I just like these coming straight out the bottom. Again, just in my opinion, makes it a little bit easier. I've always liked it. So yeah, just very little setup, guys. I really do like these Radium fuel pressure sensors. One more thing I wanted to say. None of this is sponsored. Radium has never sent me anything. I will say that if I didn't have Night Run Garage, I wouldn't be able to do this. Those guys take care of me on everything. They're the best. Literally, Chris and them over there are amazing. Chris and Ben. So I can't thank them enough. One thing I want to show you guys is on the bottom. You can see it here. See if it'll show up. See all the writing on there? I always thought this was cool. They literally tell you what it is. The high pressure side tells you the low return, auxiliary meaning for sensor and sensor. Most people don't realize that when you look at the bottom, it is actually written on it too. So I always thought that was really cool. They actually write on exactly what it's for. Radio makes some really trick stuff. My last one too was green on the top. This one's black because, well, it just looks better. Got to figure out what they use for anodizing because this has this like rough anodizing. And they're the only ones I've ever seen do this. So I want to find out who or how they get it done because I want it done also for my fuel rail. I'm really contemplating selling my entire turbo kit also. Hear me out. So yes, you heard me right. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm thinking about doing it. I've got to switch out the turbo. And when you do that, it changes everything, right? So the turbo changes the downpipe. So the downpipe's got to be modified. Then moves out the downpipe over, so that means I need to modify my dump tubes. So I'm now replacing, as you see the trickle effect here, I'm replacing everything. I've already got a brand new feed line from Powerhouse Racing and all this other stuff. The only thing that would technically be used is the manifold, and they have a lifetime guarantee, so they don't really go bad. So I'm like, why not just sell this? So if you guys want to hit me up, let me know if you're interested. BorgWarner S369 SXE, powder coated front housing, ceramic coated rear housing, dump tubes, and the downpipe also ceramic coated. Only thing it's not is the manifold. S23 manifold from Powerhouse Racing. All the stuff is from Powerhouse Racing. So yeah, hit me up because I'm really thinking of just selling it, starting fresh, just because, right? Let's just start fresh. Let's just go from there. Because it just seems to make sense because I'm replacing everything else. Let's just start fresh with it comes to that. 1000% necessary. Everything fit up perfect and was good. I'm very happy. It's just it's just one of those things that just makes sense from what I'm doing. So let me know if you guys are interested. Shoot me a message on Instagram. Don't shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm actually gonna probably stop blocking stuff on Facebook because I don't use it. The Facebook business page is horrible. Do not hit me up there. Go to Instagram or shoot me an email. I look at those daily, all day long, constantly. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Now that we've went over that, next up is this from Vibrant. So you guys know my wife's got a catch can from Vibrant on it. The baffling system didn't work, or lack thereof. I'm going to take it apart here in a second, but this is what we're going to put in. This is their new baffle they have for their catch can. This is actually going to try and resolve the issue that I'm having, and I'll show you here in a second the problem at hand. So this needs to go inside the canister itself. So if we go over here to the wife's, I've got stuff everywhere. I've even got my curl inside because of snow. But here is my wife's catch can. The problem with this is, down the center there is a divider. Well, that divider has about a 1/4 inch gap the whole way around it. So again, pressure finds the path of least resistance, goes right here to this edge, pushes out here and comes right out and splatters everywhere. It's all over the hood, all over this. Wasn't too happy. So they came up with that new baffle system that forces it through that canister, forces it to go through there, catch all the oils and stuff before it can try and come out that filter side. So I'm going to take this off, take it apart, and then show you guys what it looks like inside right now, just to give you guys an idea. All right, guys, so I took the lid off there. That's the top piece, my little dipstick, as you can see. And this is what it looks like inside. It is nothing. I don't even think it'll focus in there because it's so pitch black, but there's nothing. I did put mesh on this side, but it literally has nothing. So what this does is replace that nothingness here and uses it a way to baffle it, right? So I still have mesh over here. I'm going to keep that actually over there because two sides of it's not going to hurt anything, to try and get it to baffle as best as possible. So I'm going to replace this little shield they have in there and replace it with that. Now that also comes with these special fittings. So these fittings aren't like normal orb fittings. So if you can see here, they're orbs, but then they have this little piece that's straight on here. Well, that's for this little adapter plate. Okay, so let's set this up. See if that'll sit up on its own. It will not, so we're gonna have to do this. But this little adapter plate goes in between and sandwiches that together. So an O-ring goes at the top and an O-ring goes on the bottom and keeps it all together. So a neat little setup actually. It's just kind of trick how this all works. So an O-ring will sit on top of this and then the other O-ring will go on top of that plate there. Neat little setup. I do like this, and it is welded the whole way down to the edge. And again, then tack weld the rest because, you know, well, pressure can get around those edges, and that's fine because that's where it starts with these little beads. So pretty neat little setup, pretty impressed. Try to get this together here, and I'll show you guys as I start assembling it. All right, so I wanted to take this out and kind of show you guys here. So this is what was in there before. That's it, just a separator, right? Which in theory, you're like, well, it should work, right? It's at least separating from one side from the other. It's forcing it through these holes, and this thing was empty. I did put some steel mesh in there, right? The problem is there is a gap, a 1/4 inch gap on both sides of this and at the bottom. Bottom not so much, but at the whole way up and down it, there's a 1/4 inch gap. But again, you're like, what's only a 1/4 inch? Sure, but it's a path of least resistance. It's a pressurized system. So it was coming up at the top here and pushing itself out right at the vent. So the rest of this wasn't doing anything. It was coming up here and pushing right out. So the rest of the can wasn't really doing anything. This now forces it to go through here. It's going to force it through here, down through these holes. I'm going to leave the mesh inside of there, two sides of it. It's still got plenty. It's a big can. It's got a big vent on top, bigger than most, because you got to remember this is only 10 AN lines. Let's flip this over. Those little holes there are doing all the work. So this big vent there, which is, you know, 3 times the size of those holes, the little holes there, 4 times even, will do just fine and work better. I just want to make sure it's not splattering up on the hood and actually doing its job as a catch can, catching those oil particulates and making sure they don't go back into my system or into the car itself. So now this is going to slide in here. See if that'll actually slide in. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's, come on. There we go. Slides in there like so. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Damn, that looks good. Slides in there, and then the fittings go on top. Very simple system. I really like this, and now I just got to put the bolts back in it. These little, look how small these bolts are that hold this in. Look how tiny they are. So itty bitty. They go right here, in there, and hold it in. Very simple system. I very much like this. So thank you again, Vibrant, for not only fixing the problem, but actually listening to your customers. You know, I brought this up, and they're like, yep, we're fixing it already. We had a couple other people complain, and they fixed it. So most companies tell you to kick rocks. This company actually listens. So big shout out to Vibrant. I really appreciate it, guys. And let's get this back together, get it back in the wife's car, and then make some new lines. All right, guys, and we're done. Now you can see I do have the straight style fittings on it now instead of these because of the new design. It uses those special fittings that has double O-rings on it to keep it confined and make sure it goes to that baffled area. And part of me was like, I'm going to modify it to work with these because I like these. But what I'm going to do is get a set of these I have over here because, you know, Red Horse, they have these here. So I can put this on top. Oh, this will go on top and then makes it a tight radius. But they have one that actually clamps directly to the line. So I don't like to have, because I'll have a fitting, then this fitting, then another fitting going into it. They make one that comes off of this that attaches directly to the hose. So you don't have to add another fitting. I just need to hit them up and get another one sent out here. Love this stuff. Red Horse makes a great product. Vibrant makes a great product. Very, very, very happy. So yeah, catch can is done. I'm going to bolt it back up the car, clean it up because it's got my greasy hands, a little bit of fuel and oil on it because, well, it is a catch can. But this should work, guys. I'm very, very happy. Put the old dipstick back in and bolt it up. I also just received from Powerhouse Racing new studs. I actually messaged Sam, so my turbo manifold that's sitting up there. You saw the old studs in a previous video. They're a little corroded and bad, and I had lost most of these. They actually rattled their way out. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to put actual locking washers and nuts on top of these. So these nuts are fine. It just needs something else to lock them into. The thread pitches on them is a little bit different. So I just asked Sam what it was. He's like, I'll just send you some new ones, which again, doesn't have to do that. Like I bought these. I've had that manifold for over 2+ years now. What happens to it because I didn't tighten it down is my fault, and he just sent them to me. So that's very kind of you. Powerhouse Racing, good dudes. Everyone over there is awesome, except for these gentlemen that I'm about to show you. So the guys are always great, right? Awesome. Dear valued customer, let's go ahead and put this up here on the screen. Dear valued customer, the engine nameplate that's designed specifically for you in mind. You can proudly display this in your engine bay with your other parts you may want to showcase. All your friends will be jealous of your personalized display. We hope you're enthusiastic about this product, product as we are from your friends Lance, Ryan Cook, and Tyler at Powerhouse Racing. Now, normally I'd be like, man, that's really kind. That's really nice of someone to do that for me. Like, you know, someone from the bottom of their heart decided to make me something. Not in this case. These assholes made this pretty little thing. This is why, look at that, pure function. Look at that, LTR, I guess for Lance, Tyler, and Ryan. Oh, God, love those guys. I love shit like this. I think it's fucking hilarious. I'm actually gonna keep that too. I'm gonna put it somewhere just because I think this is funny. I'll have to find a spot like here, I'll drill a hole and hang it up here just because I think that's hilarious. I love stuff like that. This is what makes me love the community. This is what makes me love with working in other companies too, because it's not just about the parts and stuff. Like, I actually have a connection with the people. I don't know, just awesome. I really do like those guys over there. Lance always gives me updates on parts. Ryan Cook is one hell of a welder. Sam has always taken care of all my stupid questions and listened to me, and when I say about stuff, or like I don't like the way something fits, stuff that I just nitpick about, they listen. So maybe sometimes they probably are, but like, that guy's an idiot, but they at least listen to this idiot. So I do appreciate it. But enough on that, let's get back to the car, and let's talk a little bit more before we finish out the video. Again, guys, let me know if you're interested in the turbo manifold and parts. So I have it over here right now. So here's the downpipe with the bung, flex section in it. It is all V-banded. It is coated, but obviously just like anything, when you see a little bit of heat over time, some of this is just dirt actually, but it's got a little bit of marking on it, nothing crazy. Most of that'll wipe off. Dump tubes again, stuff from hitting it, but again, you can't really see it. I just had them coated because why not? Turbos here, rear coating housing, front. I've got the drain lines and hoses too. I've got a brand new feed line, but I'll be reusing, or you'll be getting the used drain line with the heat sleeve on it too. So yeah, just basic stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else. If you need the hot side intercooler piping too, I can supply that. That'll fit to your intercooler. So again, it's up to you guys what you want. Just shoot me a message. There's the manifold up there. Just want to try something else. I was thinking about keeping the intake, but if you need the intake too, just let me know. And I can throw that into for an extra cost, but I was going to reuse it because I can use it for my next turbo setup. So just let me know, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in today. And as usual, thank you guys for watching these videos, because without y'all, this isn't possible. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.